And we are in the last session of our talk, Economy Let's Talk Business with Mr. Daniel Steinman for today, as we are touching on interim budget. So we're looking at the confirmation of estimates right now. But before we get into that, I just want to confirm, Mr. Steinman, you've mentioned earlier that, our budgeting of allocation has not been doing, the estimates has not been doing well in the past 10 years, but
not always,
but in the last 3 years we've been doing
very
good.
well, very on the mark.
On the mark.
Yeah.
So you're saying, or are you saying that Minister Shimi has been one of our best finance ministers so far since independence? Would you say that? Because I think he has been doing a great job.
I will not step into that trap that you've just set for me. Remember, you're dealing with an old dog.
But I personally think that he has been doing a good job.
He's doing a good job, yeah.
In regards, because I am also not one of the kids that were born in the year 2000. I was born before independence, so I have an idea in regards to what has been happening in the country in terms of the economy. But of course, let's get back to into it, because Mr. Steinman does not want to get involved into the political questions. So, confirmation of estimates.
Elsaby, when you ask a political question, you actually going to the heart of the whole budget. Remember, the budget is not a random exercise. The budget is the physical execution of a certain policy.
Yeah.
And that policy is decided by cabinet. And there are certain goals that the government want to achieve with the way that the money that is available to it is appropriated to either projects or to certain type of functions, or take old age pension.
Yeah.
I get $1,600. Thank you, Mr. Former President. May your soul rest in peace. For basically doing nothing, for being old. But that money has to come from somewhere.
Somewhere, of course.
And let's say there's a couple of 100,000 of us old cranky pensioners that gets a government pension. We must not forget that money is not borrowed in the capital market. It comes from the government budget.
Yes.
That's a very practical thing. So you've got a policy. It was approved by cabinet after they've discussed it, that we have to support old people, we have to support disabled people, and we have to support pregnant women, so that these people are not left behind, or they $1,600 is not a lot of money. But if you've got nothing, it is something.
It is.
If you're an Oma on a farm and your children have dropped 4 or 5 kids that you have to look for, that $1,600 plus the little that you earn, that takes that small family through for the month. And this is what we must never forget. The budget is not a theoretical exercise. It's not an exercise in accounting or in mathematics. It is a practical execution of the policy of the government. Now we get to the interim budget. It is moving money around to make it most effective. If there is a shortfall on what we need for old age pensions, and there's a surplus somewhere else, you take that money and you go and fill up that hole. And this is very unacademic language that I use, but that is what you do. You sort of even out the picture. But at some point, you have to stand back and you have to make an assessment. You basically have to express an opinion on the performance of the current budget. And that is what we're going to get on Monday, the 28th of October. So remember what I said is that the budget is a forward-looking document. So it works with estimates, best guess. But it is not empirical. It's not proven. It is not historical yet. So at some point, we draw the line. We say 6 months have passed. Now, where do we stand? And we compare it to previous years, for which we've got a very good track record.
Yeah.
So it is not a process that happens in a void. It is very well benchmarked. It is very well regulated. And it's open to anybody.
Yeah.
I can go and take all the budgetary figures and do my own calculations and see if I agree with the minister. I'm not so sure that the minister would agree with me, but that doesn't matter. The point is, it's a transparent process.
Yes.
And he's taking this opportunity to bring us up to speed, to say, this is what we've achieved so far, this is where we stand. Because remember, the moment that you say, in a 12-year cycle, in a 12-month cycle, if you pick a point after 6 months and you say, this is where we stand, you are implicitly expressing an opinion. If we stand here now, it indicates of where we're going to stand at the end of the full year. Do you see the value of the interim budget?
Yes.
It sort of forces us to make a very extensive assessment of where we are now, so that we can have an idea of what we must change for the next 6 months, so that after completion of the whole fiscal year, we have actually achieved the targets that we set for the budget.
Well, that was a mouthful, but we did understand everything you said. It was very clear, and of course now we do know what interim budget really is and the importance of the interim budget that is, of course. So we have unfortunately come to the end of this talk. You can meet us again next week, same time, same place. Keep it locked to the Power Station Energy 100, and a thank you to Mr. Daniel Steinman.